Oh man, it's about to get real rude in here. This book is Slinging Mud. Rude nicknames, scurrilous slogans, and insulting slang from 2 centuries of American politics. This is by author Rosemary Osler, which I just have to say is really, I got a real strange thing for this book. I never actually looked at the author's name, and all this time I thought it was written by a guy. I don't know what that means, but when I looked at it now and was getting ready to record this, I'm like, oh. Anyway, it's another nonfiction book. You know, that's what most of these are going to be. This one is history and politics of a specific sort. It came out in 2011, and it's a short read, about 200 pages. I counted 205. And this book is really interesting. I don't remember how I came across it. If I just saw it at a store and picked it up, or if maybe I heard an interview on it or something along those lines, but obviously I like this book if I'm sharing it with you, but I really love its angle. Reading this book, it's a chronological history of up to the point when it was made of every single presidential election campaign, but it focuses more on the campaign language. You know, mudslinging is, what are we saying about the other guy? Not necessarily what are we saying about ourselves to boost ourselves up, but what are we saying about our opponent to kind of chip away at them. And this book is similar. There's a few books that I have that one has been covered already. I mentioned that Stiff by Mary Roach was what got me into suddenly going around and buying a whole bunch of books. This is also one of those in a smaller way. It was because of Stiff that I ended up coming across Slinging Mud, but it's because of Slinging Mud that I wound up getting some of the books you guys have already heard me talk about, which are full-on books that cover singularly a specific presidential election. And it's because of this one. I don't really want to say too much about it because it is such a short and quick read. It's not just that it's these 200 pages, it's not small font, and there's spacing to break up the various pieces that it's talking about. So this could be seen almost as, I'm going to put it this way, high-end bathroom reader books. This is a much more serious topic, but it's handled pretty lightly, and it is so short and quick and easy to get into. It actually helps me out in some ways. I have a book that I won't be covering on this show, so consider this its only opportunity to get covered. I don't remember the exact title of it. It's something called like The Hand Guide to Being a Racist or something like that, which is completely tongue-in-cheek. It's actually a book that was making fun of people who are racist. And what interested me about that book so much is that I'm always surprised when I hear a racist term, not just the shock of hearing it, but the shock of not really knowing why something's a racist term, in the sense of why would that bother anybody? More specifically, in the sense of why does anybody think that that word or combination of words should be ascribed to a person, and then that person should also feel bad about it? Like, I just don't know how they come up with those. I'm not one to really go around insulting people, I guess, so I just don't know the history of it. This book is full of that, except for in the case here, it's not about racist terminology. In the case here, it's about what is Tippecanoe and Tyler too. What do they mean by bull moose? You know, all of those different things in here. It's what's covered because it's specifically what this book is about. Critiques on this book are real easy to wrap up. We just want more. Everybody that I was reading about this just said, we want more of these. For one, when this came out in 2011, the next presidential campaign that was revving up means that we didn't get 2012 covered. or 16 or 2020. And of course, it is March of 2024 that this comes out, which is yet another year. I want them all covered. It is such a great primer for presidential elections. And I also wonder if I'm a little bit better at remembering where some of the presidents line up in order, because this book gives you a really interesting mnemonic device, because you're talking about slang and slogans, you know, rather than just trying to remember this person, then this person, then this person. I think it's worth a quick read and a fun one, and it won't take you long to do it. And I almost feel like I should make this a consistent read every presidential election year, because it's kind of a sad reminder, but it's also a reminder that, hey, yeah, you know how awful our campaigning is nowadays? Yeah, it turns out it really never was much better. And that was one of the things I wanted to read about specific campaign books, which I have started doing after reading this, to see, was it really like it appears in Slinging Mud? And the sad answer is that actually I think Slinging Mud is a little kind to how we've always been. So take that for what it's worth. And, March 2024, primaries are probably ongoing. The general is probably getting started, and we're probably hating every second of it. So with that positive note, I bid you all adieu.